Hello and welcome everyone to the Pharma Scientist channel. So today we are going to discuss about the pharmaceutical industry status in India and the world. So basically what is the we have seen in our previous video what is the pharmaceutical industry, what is its scope. So now we will see what is the status of the pharmaceutical industry in the India and the world. Basically we will see what is the percentage of share of pharmaceutical industry in the India and how it is growing day per day and what is the India's stand in the world. So basically India's stand in the world. So we are going to see in this video. So let's get started to the main content. So first of all we will see the pharmaceuticals ranking and its details. So India's rank. India stands at number one supplier of low-cost generics, vaccines, and HIV medicines. So as we know that India has a lot of pharmaceutical industry and it has a great chain or great number of industries where we can see the low-cost generics medicines. And during COVID or after the COVID, the production of vaccines has increased drastically. So it has become the number one supplier of low-cost medicines and HIV medicines as well, and number one in terms of most US FDA approved plants outside the USA. US FDA means United States Food and Drug Administration. So it is basically the US FDA is the regulatory body which governs the medicines which are being sold in the USA. So it has most of the number of plants in the India outside the USA in the number one. Number three in terms of industry size by volume. What does this mean by in terms of the number of volumes? In terms of the means overall quantity, it comes the third number in all over the world. So now we see the how it is exporting to top 25 destinations like USA, Germany, UK, Canada, Australia, and many more. These are the top 25 destinations, and India exports in all of those countries. $11 billion annual trade surplus means we are always going in the surplus manner in the pharmaceutical field, means we are not going in the negative. The trade is not going in the negative. We are exporting more in comparison to the importing. So this is a very good plus point. 2.7 million jobs created, direct and indirect. 2.7 million means 27 lakhs in Indian numbers in the jobs has been created, direct and indirect. And after the COVID, this numbers has increased drastically. As we know, the number of pharmaceutical companies has increased, the number of requirements has increased, and so the number of jobs has been increased. Sector highlights: 60,000 generic brands. We know there are generic brands and there are ethical brands and innovators brands. So there are 60,000 generic brands available in the India. So this is a very huge numbers. 60 therapeutic categories like anti-diabetic, anti-arrhythmic, anti-platelets, or whatever, anti-analgesic, whatever the criteria, cardiovascular drugs, whatever the therapeutic criteria. We have 60 therapeutic criteria, drugs manufacturing, 500 APIs manufacturers, API manufacturers in the sense the active pharmaceutical ingredients manufacturers. So this is a very huge number in India. API manufacturers like Teva is a very good API manufacturers. We can also say Sun Pharma, Mylan, and we can say Lupin. These also manufactures the drugs, but these also manufactures the API, which may be required for themselves or which may be required for other companies. 10 to 12% of growth rate. This is a very huge growth rate compared to the other industries. So there is a very good chances of growth as well. So now India's country-wise share of drugs, pharmaceutical and fine chemical exports. How is the India's country-wise share of drugs? So you can see a large mass is here, 29%, which is from the USA. So USA is a very good importer, or India exports a huge amount of drugs to the USA. So as I talked earlier, for exporting to the USA, we requires the FDA approval, US FDA approval. So that's what I was telling earlier. 29% goes to the USA. UK is our 3%. Then the South Africa, then Russia, Nigeria, Brazil, Germany, France, and others. Others means rest of the, we can tell the rest of the world, ROW, rest of world. Countries where we export 54%, a large chunk of our export goes to the others countries, means rest of world, like small countries, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Egypt, Sudan, Nepal, Bangladesh, like Sri Lanka, Pakistan. So these all small countries goes to the these others in the others countries. So therefore we are a very good exporter to the country. This is data is based on the 2021-2022 data. Rest is India's country-wise export share. How we are how we are exporting category-wise. Sorry, category-wise. So our then the 73% of, you can see, which is a very important, we can say, the percentage of exporting drug formulations and biologics, in the sense capsules, tablets, syrups, injectables. These all comes in a drug formulations. Biologics means biologics, uh, biological products, bulk drugs, and drug intermediates. Drug intermediates in the sense, suppose we have A product, and we have B product, and we have C product. From A point we are starting to B, and from B we are starting to C. C is our final product. So intermediates, these are intermediates. So we are also exporting these intermediates to other countries. They may be required for other, for some of the other purpose, for their purposes. That is a different thing, but we also export these intermediates. If you want a detailed video on this, please let us know in the comments. I will make a separate video. Vaccines. After COVID, this percentage has increased drastically. We can't imagine how it has increased, whether be it COVID vaccine or whether be it been other vaccines. Next is Ayush and herbal products. In due to the demographic nature of the India, the herbal products are very easily available, and they are exported to other countries. Surgicals means like catheters, masks, and gloves, or be it any other small surgical needles, syringes. We also export surgicals in a very huge number, 2.16 percentage. Next, move on to the India's drug and pharmaceutical export trend. US dollar billion in billions. So you can see how this graph is increasing day by day. How this graph is increasing day by day. So this is a very important aspect we can consider, where the daily where the yearly wise we are, the ratio is increasing. In the 2022-2023, it was around $22.9 billion. So can you imagine the scope and opportunities we have in pharmaceutical field? $24.6 billion in the 2021-22. So here a major chunk of contribution was from the vaccine. So again you can see in the 2020 22 23 22.9% of $22.9 billion were exported. So the opportunities and the possibilities it brings in the pharma field with this export, and we can really cheer about this point. So next is drugs and medicines exports by country. So how other countries are exporting and how they are ranked according to their export. I have listed down those in this slide, so we will have a look on it. The first of all is the Germany. It exports around $74.5 billion. So Germany is the, undoubtedly it is the leader, means 16.2% of total drugs and medicines exports in all over the world. Germany does alone. So it is a very very huge numbers for Germany. Switzerland, because Germany has Merck, Sigma Aldrich, and many other countries which are monopoly in the pharmaceutical fields, and it plays a very huge role for their export. Switzerland, $47.3 billion. This is a very very huge numbers for the countries. $47.3 billion. Switzerland stands as second number. Belgium, $36.4 billion. Belgium also has some very important and very big pharmaceutical companies which plays a key role in exporting those um, medicines to other worlds. United States, there are many companies in the United States. There are also MNCs, and there are also Indian companies which have opened in the USA, and they are playing an important role like Sun Pharma, Mylan, Jubilant, and we have also Lupin. This plays a very companies plays a huge role in USA. USA exports ratios. Italy, $34.8 billion is there in the Italy for the export. France, 26.1% of billion dollar, 26.1 billion dollar France exports to outer countries. Ireland is a very important waters company. Waters, you might have heard the instruments like HPLC, UPLC are manufactured in the Ireland. The spare parts are manufactured in the, since it is a USA company, but the spare parts are manufactured and supplied through Ireland. So from there, those the ratio comes for the Ireland. So this is a very huge number. So we will continue in the next video and check out next video for the where India stands. We will look out in the other video. Thank you for your time.